so many years.
Mm.
After that, it loses its energy.
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 To hold
The
it
same
together.
way, the clothes, once you see, I have saris so many years old. One day for Navaratri, I wore it with panache. Wow, it's so beautiful. I wore, everyone praised. And it tore.
Jeernaani.
Because it has become too old. Like that, we have a computer. The keys are not working. The, like that it becomes.
Needs
so you have to
upgradation.
throw out.
Constantly upgradation.
And you have to put it in a new computer.
Yes. Correct. Something like that. Correct. So it's as simple as that is what Krishna is saying. Anyone else want to share about this? Yes, Neha, please.
So I read, when I read the commentary about this, I found something very interesting. As we see it, the body gets worn out, and the actual meaning of this shloka is that the spirit needs to find a new body to gain, for its in its journey of spiritual evolution.
Correct.
Get more, better experiences.
Yeah.
There's another thing that's mentioned in the commentary that I read, that so many people die young, right? Untimely death, as we call it. So we feel that this person shouldn't have died so soon. He had so much more to do in his life and all that. But in reality, that particular spirit was done with its experiences in that particular body.
Body, whatever was of
I think that is something that's beyond our
comprehension.
understanding.
Really, very true. Correct. So one never knows with what agenda the soul comes and takes a body. So we build things around that personality, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the agenda and there's a bigger picture.
The main aim is to work out the prarabdha karma.
Yes.
But when you grow old, all your indriyas become weak and tired. So it cannot even work out. So it's waste.
Yes.
So you're given a newer body to again work it out.
Correct. There is one more angle to it. We see, while we see young bodies being dropped, old bodies continue forever. People who are like vegetables, who cannot do anything by themselves, who are dependent totally on their families for survival. Even if they want to, they don't die. What do you say about them? Why are they carrying on?
Their prarabdha karma is to stay in the body for so many years.
And the prarabdha karma of the people around them.
Yes.
They have to share prarabdha karma of looking after that person, no? So nothing is meaningless over here. So we can't say we think
there are too many factors involved.
Too many factors involved, because too many egos are also involved. No, that's why too many things are
involved. Too many prarabdhas involved.
Too many prarabdhas involved. It's such a
intricate.
The web is so intricate, we will never be able to figure out. So just do. So what is the solution here? Padma, Kamala, anyone else wants to share? Pratibha?
Yes, I will share it.
Yes, madam, tell me.
This is one of the famous stanza in Bhagavadgita.
Yes.
Very striking example to how the egocentric entity in an individual readily leaves its associations with one set of equipment and arrogates to itself another conducive envelopment for living a new set of required experience.
Yeah.
Just when an individual changes his clothes to suit the convenience of occasion, so too the egocentric discards the physical form and takes another which will be more suited for it to gain the next required type of experience.
Yes.
Evolution and change are all for the mind and the intellect and not for the self. The self is perfect and changeless, needs no evolution.
Very good. Correct. So the evolution is for the body, not even for the body, it is for the mind and the intellect and not for the self. The self is pure, stainless and doesn't require anything, and it is there all the time, whether you like
So, because we have attended this Dharmakshetra class,
it.
our mind and intellect have become a little more, advanced or more finer tuned.
Fine, fine.
So next janma, we
Mm.
cannot take the body of a dog or a buffalo or a horse or any other lower this thing, because there you cannot study Bhagavadgita.
Mm. In a manner of speaking, yes, but there are exceptions. For example, in Ramana Maharshi's ashram, apparently there were animals who were so evolved and they were yoga bhrashtas. You know what a yoga bhrashta is? In this lifetime, if you are unable to complete your study, then if you leave your deha, then you will be born in either a very, very rich family or in a very evolved family, apparently. And for some reason, you will have a lower life form. But that Lakshmi, that exception.
For example, Jnanadeva made the buffalo chant the Bhagavad Gita.
But I doubt if the buffalo was enlightened. It was Jnanadeva's this thing. But
Yeah.
here, this Lakshmi, that cow, was an enlightened soul apparently, and she got mukti in the presence of Ramana.
Because she surrendered.
Similarly, we have this Gajendra Moksham, no? And when we see the story of Jata Bharata, he also takes birth as a deer. No?
Yes.
That is because of his last thought. The whole life.
He is getting enlightened. He leaves that body and then takes another birth and he becomes a jnani.
Yeah. If you share the story of Jada Bharata properly, Kamala, I don't know if everyone is aware of it, Jada Bharata. You want to tell the story of Jada Bharata properly?
So, Bharata was a king. He actually when we read Bhagavatam, it is like all these 7 continents and all those things are made by him and his ancestors actually. So that's why we call when we say this chanting and all Bharata Varsha Bharatantande, all these are made by him. Correct. So he was such an efficient and king. He had everything and he had children and the country was so prosperous. At the end, he thought that he should leave everything and he go to sannyasa. So he gives all the kingdom and to all seven children he had, and he gave to all the 7 children, and he leaves to the forest. And he was completely into meditation and all these things. He got the jnana also. And what happened is at the end, once when he was doing his penance, he saw a mother deer which was pregnant. So when it was, but it was like a lion was chasing the deer. So when it had to cross the river, but at the time of crossing that river, that deer gives birth to a baby. So he was so like he couldn't stay with he was so compassionate. So he immediately went and took that baby deer, and he made him to grow up in his ashram only. He used to keep his name, and he used to give complete care of the deer. Correct. What happens is after some time, the deer is like an animal, like any other animal. It went off, it will come back lately, and he will be worried why it has not come back, kind of a thing. He was so affectionate to the deer, and once it will go off and it will not come, he was so and he will be worried about the deer all the time. And when he leaves his body, he will be thinking about the deer, and the next janma he takes the birth of a deer.
Last thought is manifest.
Yeah. So and what happens is he realizes, oh, after taking so much of jnana, because of my thought at that last minute, I took birth as a deer. So he realizes, and in some time only he leaves that body also. In the 3rd birth, he was born in a family of a Brahman. Okay, and he has that jnana, and he was thinking that when I say that I have some jnana and this, people will start become I will get affectionate to everybody, and so he will stay as if he is mad or like buddhu, like
Jada. Jada.
a jata. Yeah, his father used to teach so many things. He knows everything, but he will behave like as if he does not understand anything. So by that life, he will leave everything and he goes to forest. It's a big story.
No, in that life he finds mukti. That's all. He doesn't have any
Exactly.
more
Yeah.
birth.
Yeah.
No,
That's why the
he's
name Jada
just
Bharata.
Yeah.
he's just staying there,
Mm.
and one Rahoguna, I think, Rahoguna king comes in this thing
Mm.
In the
Uh,
forest.
in the
Some-
forest. They're carrying and coming. One man has some leg problem, so this man is just sitting around. They catch him and make him carry the palanquin. So what happens? This man is so afraid of doing papam and all that stuff. He sees a row of ants, so he jumps.
Mm.
So the palanquin has a shake, and again he does it so that he doesn't want to hurt the little creatures. And Rahaguna got so angry. He said, "Why are you jumping around?" And he gives him one beating.
Mm.
That time, I think he gets a sort of beating himself.
Mhm.
Then he realized that he's not a normal human being, and he falls at his feet.
Mm.
Mm.
And
Okay.
then he goes his way. And in that Janma, he
attains
realizes.
mukti.
Yes.
Mm.
Wonderful, Kamala. That was wonderful story.
you.
I never knew all these details.
Anyone else wants to share? Padmaja? Anything about this shloka?
I think everybody has said enough.
Okay, then let us understand what leaves. At death, what leaves? We have done this, but still, what do we carry? What do we leave? Jeernaani. What is the jeerna here?
Gross body.
Gross body. What about the subtle body? The mind, is it jeerna? The mind, the
No.
intellect?
Mind, the subtle
Aging for the
body,
mind. Ah,
subtle body, mind,
ah.
intellect, and all goes along with the soul to the next
Because
body.
the mind cannot age, but it can only mature. It cannot age, right? So because the mind and the intellect are very, very useful and important instruments for evolution. Without that, there is no use. So the body, the new body comes along with the old software. New
Yes.
hardware, old software.
Yes.
According to the environment which is conducive for the new software to be installed. Right?
Yes.
That is the gross body. And what is the causal body? Kamala had asked in the first class. What is the causal body? Anyone wants to explain what the causal body is? Because without the causal body, there is no subtle body. Causal body is also called the Karana Sharira. It's the Karana for what? Why is it called Karana Sharira? Karana Sukshma Thula. Karana.
Because of the, before it is the Karana for the Dvaya, the Sukshma and the gross. It is the Karana. Because of it only, these two are we have got.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Yeah.
And it is nearest to the atma. So what it happens is there are two features here. Ajnana is that I am the body. It is got this feeling that I am the body feeling. So that ajnana is there. Because of that, when you are sleeping, you are not aware of it.
Correct.
You are not aware. You wake up, you say, I had a beautiful, wonderful sleep.
Yeah.
When you were sleeping, no, nothing you know. You tell me something, what happened in your sleep?
Deep
What
sleep.
did you drink? Nothing. No details. Okay. Another feature is, it is blissful. Why is it so blissful? Because it is nearest to the Atman. The feature of Atman is being blissful. So it has got that feature also. So two things it has. To be blissful and it has to be
Ajnana.
Ajnana.
Mm.
And
Correct.
Karana is Sharira Dvayam. That is the cross body and Sukshma.
Yeah, so the causal body is the, like Nirmala ji said, it's the closest to the, because the Anandamaya Kosha is the nearest to the self, pure I. But that Anandamaya Kosha is always covered with ignorance. That is why we do not feel the Ananda through the mind and body all the time. And so when the body, the gross body falls, the subtle body merges with the causal body. And we have heard accounts of how people, when accounts of near-death experiences, where they feel they're completely blank, dead, gone. That is what even the Puranas tell us. When a body dies, the subtle body merges with the causal body and it is carried to the other body. So there's a complete blankness between one birth and another birth, which is why we don't remember what's happening in between. Unless we are a little bit evolved and there is some awareness, we will not know where we died and how we came back, and the complete memory is loss of the past births is there. That is the function of the causal body. It is a carrier basically. And also the causal body is the barrier between the infinite and the finite. It is a barrier, which is why the infinite filters through the causal body and comes into the finite world. And so the avidya is a major component of the causal body. The avidya is in the causal body. So that is why when we go into this, even when we are awake, when in the waking state, there is some sort of vidya, the mind is functional. In the dream state, the mind is also again functional in some sort of other realm. But in deep sleep, completely non-functional, complete avidya, neither here nor there. We are neither aware of the finite nor the infinite. So that is the causal body. And without this causal, and it has got everything in seed form, karana. Everything that has to sprout is there in the causal body. So that is very, very individual. It is different for each jiva. It will carry. So each jiva has its own causal body with its vasanas it will have. So that is about the causal body. So
that Karana, that the causal body is the cause of us living happily. Happily, yes. Because that 8 hours of sleep, if you don't have, then problem. You go mad.
Correct.
One lady's husband is dead. She's going on crying.
Correct.
She's going on crying. But as she goes on crying, she goes off to sleep. But she sleeps so peacefully. But when she gets up and she starts crying again, because she doesn't want other people to know that she sleeps very peacefully. But remember, when you sleep, you are unaware of the fact whether you're married, you have children, whatever, nothing you remember. Correct. And that switch off is our way of relaxing ourselves completely to run the next 16 hours.
Correct. That is where you replenish your bliss, Anandamaya Kosha. It will replenish you and gives you the energy to come back the next day and face the world.
Yes.
Whether you remember it or not. That is why it is called the Anandamaya Kosha.
It heals you fully.
Rejuvenation with deep sleep.
Yes. Correct. It heals you fully. Even if I have a mental problem, I go to the doctor. Doctor doesn't give me any medicine. He just gives me a sleeping dose to make me go to sleep. Because in sleep, everything will be healed.
Absolutely correct. So that's exactly what happens even in death, is what Krishna is saying. Just like you go to sleep and wake up the next day, you wake up in another body. That's all which happens with death. Vasamsi, jeernaani, yatha, vihaaya, navani grunhanti, navani dehi. Navani, new clothes are taken by the... So Arjuna, why are you crying? Why are you worried? If not in this form, in some other form, all your loved ones will be there, whether you remember it or not. Don't worry about it. Leave it to me. They are taken care. Don't worry. They are insured against all sorts of death, because my identity is not this body. I'm there all the time. In the Karana Sharira, whether in the form of avidya, I'm there all the time, and nothing will happen to me. And Krishna is also implying that this body, even the God, even the avatara has a body. The avatar also comes with a body, right? And the avatara's body also drops. That is the nature of the body. The avatara's body also drops. But while the avatara doesn't take birth helplessly like us, he has got the free will to take whenever, manifest a body whenever he wants. That is the difference between a jiva and an avatara's body. Because the avatara has no karma bandhana at all. He just acts with complete free will and out of spontaneously what is needed for lokahita, he acts. That is why the avatara doesn't have any of these problems with life. Okay, so what is the next shloka? Anything else you want to add? Can we all go to the next one?
We'll go to next one.
All right. This is again one more famous than the previous shloka. Nainam Chindanti shastraani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledyayantyaapo, na shoshayati marutaha. Yes, who wants to go? Please chant.
I can go.
Yes, please carry on.
Basically, soul is something not attached to the body, and it is not made out of any five elements as such. So when it lives the body,
Yes.
it kind of takes another body, but it's still
Yes.
not made up of any of the elements. So it doesn't get affected by any of the karmas.
Yeah.
Or any of our jnanendriya, panchendriya, because when we do those neti, we are not this body, we are not this mind, we are not all the five jnanendriya, panchendriya, and five shariras and everything.
Yeah.
So the soul is not attached to any of the outer bodies or something.
Absolutely. Was that Anu?
Yes, that's me.
You are the Asharira Vani because we can't see you. All right.
I would like to chant. Nainam Chindanti shastraani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyaapo, na soshayati marutaha.
Yes. Who else wants to chant? Pratibha, you want to chant? Padma, Pratibha, Kamala, please go. Carry on one after the other. Then we can.
Nainam Chindanti shastraani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantyaapo, na shoshayati marutaha.
Yes. Okay.
Here the reference is to the Pancha Bhutas.
Yes.
The Pancha Bhutas,
yes.
they touch the soul.
Correct.
You cannot be cut with
any weapon.
weapons. You cannot burn the soul. You can only burn the body.
Correct.
Nainam chainam kledayantyaapo. Apaha. The wind cannot dry it up. Na shoshayati.
Apa is water.
Water. It cannot be wetted.
Yes.
Na shoshayati marutaha. It cannot be dried up by the wind.
Correct. So that's the meaning of the shloka. But it is so beautiful. Anyone wants to share any contemplation regarding this? Anything special? Any special insights?
Again, Krishna is explaining that the Atman cannot be destroyed. The self cannot be destroyed by any of the known ways of destruction.
Correct. Correct. Of the physical. Correct. Very correct. Yes, Pratibha, you wanted to share?
Yes, madam. It is very well known that with an axe, one can cut down a thing, and with a bullet, one can shoot some other objects, but one cannot wound water, fire, air, or space with sword, however sharp it might be. The principle is that the instrument can hit or destroy an element subtler than itself. Naturally, therefore, Atman, the self, is very cause of the subtlest element, space, and necessarily, therefore, subtler than space cannot be cut as under by the cross instruments. And
Correct.
fire generally burn things other than the fire, but it cannot burn itself. And things get soaked only when they have got interspace with themselves. A piece of bread can soak in water or milk, but a piece of iron cannot soak, as the iron has interface within. Wind, wind also is only when there are some traces of water in the substance dehydrated. Dehydrated, every crystal has its own water crystallization. When removed, causes the crystals to lose their distinct shapes and forms and get pulverized into fine powder. These are the days vegetables and food materials are dehydrated for the purpose of preservation.
Okay, Pratibha.
The Christian consciousness contains nothing other than itself, and therefore annihilation through a process of dehydration is not possible.
Okay, annihilation of the physical is possible, but not of the subtle. Very correct. So here, the entire process of creation and destruction is there in this shloka, because in our scriptures, creation is from cause to effect. Destruction is from effect to cause. You know, effect goes back to cause. That is destruction, right? So that is what Krishna is saying here. The gross body, like Nirmala ji said, all the 5 elements. Why is he describing all the 5 elements? Because when the body is burned, the body, as we know, is made of Pancha Bhutas. And when the body is cremated or buried, everything, they go back to their elements, isn't it? The effect will go back to the cause. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, this shloka is there, how the body is made of from subtle to the gross. The infinite is very, very subtle, and from there comes the gross. So in the Taittiriya, this shloka is there. Akashat atmano akashat sambhutaha. The atma from the akasha came from the atman. Akasha is the subtlest, the space is the subtlest. Akasho atmanat sambhutaha. Akashat vayuhu, vayor agnihi, agnirapaha, adyah prithvi, prithivya aushadayaha, aushadayat annam, annat purushaha. See how from the infinite to the finite, everything comes from akasha, vayu, jala, apa. They all become more gross, and then annat purushaha. Finally, from the anna comes the purusha. So when from the cause, the effect. And from effect back to the cross. And even when the body is burned, just note that of the 5 elements, nothing happens to space. The space, even the air will become hot, but nothing happens to the space. So that's the closest we can imagine to our real self. Nothing happens to the our presence, my existence. Nothing happens. It cannot be wetted, it cannot be burnt, it cannot be slayed. Just like space, everything happens on the screen of space. Nothing can affect the atma. That is what is being said here. So
the maximum we know of subtle is only the space.
the maximum we can imagine about the subtle is
but
only.
this atma is subtler than space.
Yeah, correct. Space came from atman, no?
No.
Atmano sambhuta, akashat sambhuta atmana.
It is subtler. So we have no clue what it is.
Actually, we have. How, Nirmala? Actually, we have. Just close your eyes right now and sit. When the mind is aware and all the other, even if the other senses are shut off, eyes, ears, nose, touch, sense, smell, everything is shut off, but the mind is aware. That presence is always there. That is what, you know the story of Socrates, no, Nirmala? This Socrates, of course, was a great philosopher and he was a jnani. But of course, his contemporaries did not understand what this man was. Bak kya kar raha hai? They didn't know. And he was saying all sorts of crazy things that I'm imperishable and I don't die, I don't have a body and all. They put him in prison because they said this man is, dangerous to religion. All our gods will have no relevance if this Jesus will have no relevance if this Socrates is allowed to preach. So they put him in prison. And Socrates was he was unaffected because he was a jnani. He said, okay, if I'll be in prison. And then they even tried to give him poison. He had one jailer who was very fond of Socrates, and he kind of respected him. And the jailer came and told Socrates, look, tomorrow they are going to poison you and kill you. Okay. Socrates was unmoved. He said, okay, fine. This is a great experiment I can do with myself. I want to see what happens when the poison affects my body. And his disciple Plato, he was there with him, and he told Plato, you make a note. I'll go on giving you notes. You make a note of what happens when the body is perishing. When the poison enters my body, I want to know how it is. And I want the world to know how it goes. And so Socrates took the poison happily, hemlock, he took it, and he went on narrating. Oh, now, like an objective, as if an experiment is being conducted and you can see it in the lab, what's happening to the body. He went on describing, oh, now there's a burning sensation in my throat. Oh, now there is a intestines are, the stomach churning or something like that. I'm losing sensation in the feet are going away. Like that, he went on describing to the last moment when his mind shut off. Then he said, no, I think now the mind is also shut. I won't be able to talk, he said. And when Plato stopped writing, when he said, I can't talk. But then that awareness will continue till a very, very, very long time. That the awareness is the last thing, that the mind going into causal is the last thing. That is what happened with Ramana also. Ramana, when he was 17, he had a near-death experience, right? He had a near-death experience and he lay there like a log of wood, and he willfully shut down all his physiological and mental and the senses. And he wanted to see how death is like. And then he realized that whatever may die, but my awareness will not die. He realized that. Then he was enlightened. So that is what is happening in this shloka, right? So, yeah, that is this shloka is all about. Nothing can destroy the awareness, the presence. Nothing can destroy.
This way.
Yeah. So we can just conclude for the day by sitting silently and getting into our own, like Ramana and Socrates did, get into our bodies. You know why the body is important? Why should we close our eyes and concentrate on the body? Every meditation technique says concentrate on the breath, or observe the sensations in the body. Can anyone share why that is?
I don't know.
Because the body is the only thing which is in the present. The mind is either behind or ahead. It's never in the present.
Future or past. Oh, okay.
Past or the future. So,
see,
yes, Anu, carry on.
So
Okay. So, yeah, Nirmala, you want to say something? So the mind, if you have to tie down the mind and bring the awareness to the present, the body is the best instrument. Yes, Anu, come on, Anu, carry on, please.
So when we meditate, our body gets into kind of silent mode, but still our thoughts will be wavering. And I think, I'm not sure, like it might be like, you feel kind of calmness also. Is that what you're saying? When we meditate,
the body is always in the present, no. The body is always there in the present only. It cannot go back, or what goes back and forth is the mind, right? The body is just there. It's an objective. It's an instrument. It cannot go anywhere. Huh? So,
Right.
We need the body to experience our Prarabdha karma. We cannot do without the body.
and that is right. Here we are talking about how you can come to the present through the body, through the breath.
Only through the body.
Only through the body can you be in the present moment. That is why all meditation techniques, close your eyes, either observe your breath or the body or the sensations and come to the present. And then when we come to the presence will be revealed. When the mind is thoda silent, the presence will shine forth. That is the technique of all the meditation techniques. Just feel the awareness throughout the body and go through the manana, mentally go through how this presence that you feel can neither be Nainam Chindanti, shastraani, Nainam Dahati Pavaka. Just remember all those values and sit quietly is what we need to do right now. Okay. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nanu Nanimbudu Nanalla Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla Satchidanandatma Shivananu Nane Shivoham Shivoham Shivoham. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. So Ralph Waldo Emerson was a fan of Bhagavad Gita, and he was so impressed by this shloka, this Nainam Chindanti shastraani, that he wrote this poem. So I can share this on the group. You can go through it leisurely. If the red slayer thinks he slays, or if the slain thinks he is slain, they know not well the subtle ways. I keep and pass and turn again. So beautiful, right? Far or forgot to me is near. Shadow and sunlight are the same. The vanished gods to me appear, and one to me are shame and fame. They reckon ill who leave me out. When me they fly, I am the wings. I am the Karana, he's saying. I am the doubter and the doubt. Everything is appearing me, the awareness, the doubt, the doubter, everything. I am the hymn the Brahmin sings. The strong gods pine for my abode, and pine in vain the sacred seven. But thou, meek lover of the good, find me and turn thy back on heaven. This is the message of Krishna. Turn to me. Just close your eyes and feel your presence, and there I am. You know what we experience right now? It is nothing but Ishvara. This is the pure screen on which everything is created. So, when we are creative, this is the energy that comes forth. Without the vasanas, without the fears, the biases, the desires, the likes, dislikes. This is pure awareness which has got nothing of these upadhis. No, it is called upadhis are not there. So let's go back to this presence more and more and more, so that the mind turns to the source and becomes pure, and we can act like Krishna. That is the target here. We all become Krishnas. All right, then see you all next week. Next week is Ugadi. So let's take a break next week. And the week after that, 2 more shlokas following this. Okay, we'll do that. That's it. All right, then. 27 and 30. Jatasyuhi Dhruvo Mrityu is the next one. Dehim Nityam Avadhyayo. 2 more shlokas. Next 15 days from now.
27 and 30, is it?
27 and 30.
Oh.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you all so much. Bye-bye.
Thank
Have
you
a
all.
great week
Everyone.
and great fortnight. Happy Ugadi. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.